How thrilled we are to celebrate today with you guys because it's very special to us all.
Groundbreaking.
When Nick is a part of your life, things are never dull, as you all know. So I thought I might start tonight by talking about a few of Nick's childhood antics, just so you can see that he's really never been any different. When he was a little tiny boy, he was absolutely obsessed with fire. And I'm talking 3 to 5 years old, yeah. And we lived in town, and there was a little hole. We'd kicked a ball through one of the walls in the house, and we were outside playing one day and found that Nick had set a fire in there. Thought he might see how the house would go burning down. In that situation, we were lucky to find him quickly, and there was no damage done. But Nick wasn't happy with that result, so totally unperturbed, thought he'd give it another crack and set fire to our cubby, which our grandfather had lovingly built, and in that case, unfortunately, yes, he did do quite a bit of damage that time.
I'd like to add, all I wanted was an open fire. I did put paper in a suitcase and lit it.
And he was a baby boy. Travel on a few more years to when Nick was about 12 and I was home from Sydney, and I found Nick and Lou and Frog very busily packing up a barbecue picnic in the kitchen to bring out to the farm. And I knew that Mum and Dad had already said that they weren't to do that, but I didn't want to stop them, so I thought, okay, I'll try and be the cool big sister and let you go ahead here. But I made them promise me that they would be really, really careful and that they wouldn't go anywhere near any of the sheds. They promised, and off they went. And I was at home just fluffing about and thinking, oh, just feeling a bit nervous about this. I better go and check on them. Came out to the farm to find not only did they have a blazing fire going, but it was right beside Dad's top shed underneath the petrol tank.
We didn't want the fire to get wet.
They couldn't understand why I got so cranky and packed everything up and kicked the fire out, because they were just trying to stay dry because it was raining. So
we thought we shouldn't have the fire in the shed because that would burn the machinery.
Yeah.
But if we have it outside under the petrol tank, then that's fine because the fire keeps dry.
Yeah. Anyway, I was really cranky, so I made them walk home. The next story is I'm losing my notes. The next. Sorry, guys. Going forward a few more years again, and we get to when Nick was about 14 or 15 and Mim was 16. And I'd been at uni in Sydney. I was working in a pub, and I'd had enough of Sydney. Thought I might just head home for the weekend and surprise everybody. Mum and Dad were actually away in Canberra that weekend, well, for that night, and Nick and Mim had convinced them that they were actually old enough to be left home alone. So,
to be fair, Frog and I were actually staying at Pam and Arnold's,
okay,
and we jumped out the bathroom window.
Right. Well, I was expecting to arrive home to a dark, sleepy little house, and more fool me, because when I arrived, there was teenagers jumping out of the house like ants. They were everywhere. And Mim was front and centre at the party inside the house, and Nick was drag racing Mum and Dad's car up and down the back lane.
Don't worry, someone went into Mum's salon like directly after the weekend to report my behaviour.
In mine, you still don't know who it was.
On that occasion,
I have a fair idea.
On that occasion, I was unable to hide the facts, to hide the evidence. So I couldn't get you out of trouble that time. Sorry.
However, I just want to add that Pam and Arnold were none the wiser. Frog and I were in bed when they woke up.
Alright, next page. I've got a lot of pages here.
Sorry.
Dougie told me they were only little pages, so I was okay. Yeah. As Mum said earlier...
I don't actually care today because it's all about us.
As Mum said earlier, Nick's always had more than one mother, but his relationship with each of us has always been very different. Danae wanted to be his mother from the minute he came home from hospital.
Where are you, doll?
There she is. And she's
Just to add, I could actually spell her name before I could spell mine.
There you go. There's the impact of her maternal love. She's always taken on a very
And she's the only mobile phone number I actually know by memory.
Okay. There you go. So, you're throwing me off. I'm up already. Yeah. I worked very hard on this speech. Let me tell it.
He's interrupting. Ross will be having a
Sorry,
breakdown.
So Danae has always taken the role of mothering Nick and looking after him very, very seriously. I know that she loves him to bits, and she has always worked really hard to have the absolute best for you. Mim, as you can tell from the earlier story, was the one that was always involved in the cheeky, mischievous stuff. The fun sister. However, I might add that the fun sister...
That's why I'm the chief bridesmaid and the favourite.
Keep my part down as well. I might add though, the fun sister was also the one that when he was a baby couldn't be without him, and I always thought of them as twins more than little and big siblings. But she was so much fun that she had to take him everywhere he went, particularly to bed at night, because if the monsters were going to come and eat her, they had to eat him first.
And you wonder why you kicked her.
Yeah.
He's up.
For me and Nick, it's probably been more of an adult relationship that we've developed over the years, and I would have to say that we've developed a really lovely friendship. We've got a lot in common, we've discovered, as we've grown as adults together. And Nick is always a really great confidant for me and a really good support. So he's often one of the first ones that I ring when I need to get some advice. So thank you for that, Pickle.
Not sure it's always the right advice.
It's all right, it's advice, I'll take anything. Despite all the differences between the three of us, you mess with one of us, you mess with all of us. And it's never been any different. Oh, you can tell them about that. So, Dougie, you know you have... so, Dougie, what I would say to you now is that whilst you might have three fairly overprotective sisters in the background, we're now also your sisters as well. So, you've got... marriage to me is very much like the ocean, pretty much. There are times when there's nothing but crystal clear blue waters, gentle waves, and it's really, really lovely. And there are times when if you're not getting dumped by a wave or pulled under by a rip, you're getting eaten by a shark.
Lucky you.
So, in the words of the great Kenny Rogers, here's a few tips. As you guys would all be able to probably say with me, you got to know when to hold them, know when to fold them, know when to walk away, and know when to run. But for me, your sister who loves you both very, very much, while ever there is love, even if it's just a smidge, know when to fight for it as well. Above all else, remember that you both had the privilege of being around Mum and Dad and observing firsthand just what a truly wonderful relationship is. And whenever things are tough or you're not quite sure what to do, just have a think about what they would have done, because they'll always guide you. Dad would have loved tonight. He would have loved being here celebrating tonight. So in memory of him, please make sure you eat and drink plenty, laugh heaps, and dance your socks off, because that's what he would have done and that's what he would have loved.
Yay, Jerry! Yay!
Oh, sorry, I'll get my wine. I just want to say finally, here's cheers to Nick and Doug. We're wishing you both a lifetime of love, laughter and wonderment. We love you very much.
Yay!